You think dropping down for 50 squats a day is gonna magically give you those massive tree trunk legs or that perfect peach? You probably imagine yourself just casually building an iron core and a flawless physique. Well, keep dreaming. I hate to be the one to burst your bubble, but what you are actually doing is triggering a violently destructive microscopic war zone inside your own anatomy. And if you are doing it wrong, you are literally taking a sledgehammer to your spine and knees every single day. But here's the crazy part. If you actually do it right, you become a literal biological mutant. Today, I am going to completely shatter your illusions about this incredibly popular 30-day squat challenge. I'm going to reveal the exact, terrifyingly beautiful 5-step bodily transformation that happens when you put yourself through this daily torment. Look, I know your attention span is probably fried, so let me give you the absolute core truth right now before we dive into the insane microscopic details. The 30-day 50 squat challenge is not just a workout. It is a controlled demolition of your lower body. Over the next month, if you take this on, you are going to rip your muscle fibers to shreds, flood your system with burning acid, completely restructure your joints, trigger a massive immune system crisis, and ultimately rewire your actual brain. Yes, your brain. By the end of this, if you survive without destroying your knees, you will have basically built a permanent calorie-burning furnace inside your legs. But the line between becoming a superhuman and ending up in physical therapy is dangerously thin. It all comes down to perfect form and knowing exactly what is happening under your skin. Now that you know what is at stake, let us zoom all the way in and look at the absolute biological chaos you unleash the second you bend your knees. Imagine we are shrinking down to the size of a single cell, deep inside your glutes and quads. As you start to lower your hips, you are fighting a brutal war against gravity. This is what science calls the eccentric phase. You are forcing your gluteus maximus, your quadriceps, and your hamstrings to lengthen while they are still under extreme tension. Picture thick, massive steel cables trying to stretch while holding up a building. Down here, at the microscopic level, your muscle fibers, specifically these little protein filaments called actin and myosin, are violently sliding past each other. Because they are being forced to stretch out while trying to flex, the mechanical stress builds up to a critical point. Then, snap, snap, snap. Thousands upon thousands of microscopic tears explode across your muscle tissue. You are literally ripping your own flesh apart from the inside out. It looks like a catastrophic earthquake hitting a city. But here's the wild thing. This microscopic trauma is exactly what you want. Without this absolute localized destruction, there is zero growth. You have to break the city down to build it back taller. So, you reach the absolute bottom of the squat. Now you have to push back up. This concentric phase is where the real fire starts. Pushing your entire body weight upwards requires a massive instantaneous explosion of energy. Your body panics and immediately burns through its tiny emergency stash of ATP energy within seconds. But you still have 49 reps to go. To keep you from collapsing, your cells aggressively smash the panic button and switch to anaerobic glycolysis. The result? A massive flood of lactic acid and hydrogen ions completely saturating your muscle tissue. Imagine a toxic, acidic sludge rushing through the streets of that microscopic city. The pH level inside your legs plummets, creating a highly acidic, burning environment. This is that excruciating, searing pain you feel creeping in around rep 30 or 40. Your brain is literally screaming at you to stop. Red lights are flashing in your nervous system because the acid is actively attacking your nerve endings. But you push through the fire. This intense metabolic stress sends out massive distress signals to your entire endocrine system, telling your body that it is in a life or death survival situation. Now let us pan the camera over to your joints, because this is where the CG gets really intense. Your knees and your hips are currently enduring massive, crushing, shearing, and compressive forces. Your patella, which is your kneecap, is grinding incredibly hard against your femur. Now listen to me very carefully. If your form is trash, if your knees are caving inward like a collapsing bridge, or if they are violently pushing way too far past your toes in the wrong angle, you are creating a devastating friction. You are basically taking sandpaper to your meniscus and articular cartilage. You are grinding them into dust. But if your form is flawless, a totally miraculous biological defense mechanism kicks in. The intense mechanical pressure forces your synovial membrane to act like a high-tech pump. It starts secreting synovial fluid. Imagine this incredibly viscous, glowing, blue-tinted biological oil flushing into the joint capsule. It coats the cartilage, absorbs the massive shock waves of the squat, and completely prevents your bones from grinding into each other. It's an incredibly high-stakes balancing act between fortifying your joints and absolutely obliterating them. You finally finish all 50 reps. You collapse on the floor. The workout is over, right? Wrong. The biological emergency inside you has literally just started. Your immune system has detected the massive, widespread tissue damage in your lower half. It thinks you've been in a car crash. Inflammatory cytokines are aggressively dumped into your bloodstream. Enter the macrophages. Think of these guys as the giant, ruthless garbage trucks of your immune system. They rush to the disaster site in your legs to gobble up and clear away all the dead, torn, and damaged cellular debris. This massive inflammation is exactly what gives you that horrible delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS. For the first week of this challenge, just trying to sit down on the toilet or walk down a flight of stairs is going to feel like absolute medieval torture. But as the biological garbage is cleared out, the real magic happens. Satellite cells, which are these specialized dormant stem cells sleeping on the outside of your muscle fibers, suddenly wake up. They multiply like crazy and physically fuse themselves to your torn muscle fibers, donating their own nuclei. This alien-like fusion process patches the tears, making your muscles exponentially thicker, infinitely denser, and incredibly stronger than they were yesterday. As you push through the pain and hit day 15, day 20, and finally cross the finish line at day 30, something profoundly weird happens. Dropping down for 50 squats doesn't feel like a torturous death sentence anymore. Why? It's not just because your legs got beefier. Your central nervous system has actually hacked and rewired itself. The myelin sheath, which is the biological insulation wrapping your nerves, has grown significantly thicker. This allows electrical command signals from your brain's motor cortex to travel at literal lightning speed down your spinal cord and blast into your legs. Your brain has learned how to recruit thousands more motor units at the exact same time. You have unlocked elite neuromuscular efficiency. And because your glutes and quads have the largest, hungriest muscle groups in the human body, this newly added dense muscle mass forces your basal metabolic rate to permanently skyrocket. You have successfully turned yourself into a walking, breathing, calorie-burning furnace, melting fat even when you were just sleeping in your bed. But I need to hit you with the cold, hard truth before you run off and start squatting. All of these insane benefits, the massive strength gains, the perfect posture, the explosive hormonal surges of testosterone and HGH, the soaring metabolism, they all hinge on one absolute non-negotiable factor: flawless execution. Because if you mess this up, the negative effect is complete joint annihilation. If you do 50 squats every single day with a rounded lower back, looking like a scared cat, a weak core, or knees that buckle inward, you are not building muscle, bro. You are systematically eroding your lumbar spine and permanently tearing your knee ligaments. Those terrible shearing forces are going to give you patellofemoral pain syndrome, blown out bulging discs, and lifelong chronic joint degradation. You are essentially taking a literal hammer to your skeleton 50 times a day. So how do you actually survive and conquer this thing without turning your legs into dust? First, you have to master the hip hinge. Don't just blindly bend your knees. Push your hips back exactly like you were trying to sit down in a chair that's slightly too far away. Keep your chest up proud and brace your core incredibly tight, like you were literally about to take a punch straight to the stomach. Second, track your knees. They have to travel in the exact same direction as your toes. Never, ever let them cave inward. And third, your nutrition is your only savior here. You are actively causing severe micro tears every single day with absolutely zero rest days. If you are not inhaling enough high-quality protein and hydrating like a maniac, your satellite cells are going to have zero building blocks to actually repair the damage.
you will enter a terrifying state of catabolism, where your body literally eats its own muscle tissue just to survive the stress. Do not let a supposedly healthy habit turn into a permanent, lifelong injury. Master the biomechanics, fuel the insane recovery process, and let that daily micro-destruction forge you an unbreakable, legendary lower body. If this blew your mind, save this video right now so you don't forget the form. Fix your posture immediately and share this with that one gym bro friend who is always complaining about his knees hurting after leg day. Catch you in the next one.